Hey, what's up? I have my 2011 snowboard gear here. I have the custom V-Rocker snowboard, and I have the freestyle bindings from Burton. Okay, so this is going to be based on how to put on your bindings on your board for people who don't know how to, or for beginners. Pretty much same thing. Okay, over here I have my screws. Now, this little thing comes off. I don't remember what it's called, but it goes on screws. When you buy the screws, they don't come on already like that, then you just gotta put it on there, just slip it on, and then you're good. Okay, this, it's just like a screwdriver set I got with my snowboard. You don't need one of these at all, really. All you need is a screwdriver, and that's all it. But this just has a few different sizes. See if I can get this out with one hand. Okay. So as you can see, the top just screws off like that, and then you pour it out, and there's different screws. Okay, so this is the right screwdriver. I already made sure. Now, what you want to do before anything is fix the plate. Okay, so you want it to be the flat side on top where your boot would go, and then if you can see that there's like a rickety side, that should go like flat, rickety. It should go just like that. But the thing is, you gotta get it on there right. So I don't have very much lighting. Let's see how well I can do this. You can't see that. Okay, well, I'll show you in this. Still can't see it. Here, it's better. Okay, well, in here, that's better. Sorry, you can kind of see numbers. Now, right where my finger's at pointing right now is at 0 degrees, and then there's 4 lines right here, and that goes to 15 degrees. 4 lines 30 degrees, 4 lines 45 degrees, and the same for going this way. Now, on here, there's little arrows on each side. Now, what you're going to want to do, I'll show you on this one because it's brighter. I'm not going to be able to put the binding on this one, though, because it's backwards. Okay, so what you want to do is see this little triangle. That is what's recommended. Now, for how to get that on there is you go like that. So it's like that because there's 1, 2, and 1. Now, each slide, so it's 1, 2, and 1. So you'd put it on there like that. Now you gotta pick which. See how there's like little rigged things in there? You gotta pick which one of those you want the screw to go into. Now what that does is if you put it on there like that, if you want it all the way back, it's like that. If you want it all the way forward, it's like that. Now that's gonna determine where your binding would go. So it's not on there correctly. I'm just kind of throwing it on there. So if you're on the very back, your binding's going to be hanging off a lot. That's not good, usually. And if it's all the way back here, your binding will be hanging off the back. So you just want it to be a good placement. Okay, moving on because this is getting boring, I bet. So what you do is, for beginners, the board, how you'd stand out like this, is just like this. So the black end's facing that way on my board. So what I would do is for the back binding, you want it perfectly straight like this. So your foot's like that. I know I don't have shoes or socks on. I kind of just woke up. It's about 7:30. Okay, so I'm gonna put this back binding on. Sometimes I don't think mine does. I've checked. Sometimes the binding will have different like right or left. If it's left one, if you're standing up like you're gonna ride, the left foot is gonna be there, and the right binding is gonna be here. Now, I have freestyle, and they don't say anywhere. So, okay, let's hook it up. So again, for this, the little arrow and the degrees, you want it on 0 for the back binding or the right binding, and you also have to make sure that for this little triangle, it's 2, 2, and 1. So Yeah, you can't really see that, but as I showed you before. Where's that off? Okay, so you can kind of find it. I'm gonna have mine in the second to last hole on each one. Once you get it on there, then I'll take the screwdriver. Okay, let me hook this up. Okay, so my screwdriver is on, and if you have one of these and don't know how to use it, there's a little dial right here that goes back and forth. The back one's tighten, and the front one's loosen. And if you can get it in the middle one, it's kind of hard to do because it doesn't really click. If you get it in the middle one, it doesn't move. So I'm gonna have mine in the back because it's tightened. So you just take this entire screw, and then you're gonna put it into each hole. I don't really see that too well. You definitely want to make sure that when you put it in the hole, that it goes into the snowboard hole. Because if you don't, then I did this at first. You can kind of see in there. No, you can't. Well, there's a little, there's some stuff in there. I don't know what, it's from the board though. And because when you're screwing it on, if it's not in the hole, it'll start kind of scratching up this. And then it'll kind of peel off. But it's not that big of a deal because you won't notice it because your binding's on. Okay. Put it in there. Okay, now, there, that's a better view. I'm just going to tighten these, but I'm not going to tighten it a lot. Just going to kind of tighten it so that you can feel some barely pressure. Wait. Okay. I had it backwards, if you noticed that. Now, if you tighten one screw all the way at one time, at the first time, without tightening the other screws, it won't really affect that much, but it's not very good for it. So just kind of tighten each screw somewhat tight, not very tight, and then once they're all kind of like that, then you tighten them so that it's really snug and fit. Just gonna do that. I'm not gonna put the other binding on because it'll take up too much time. So that's how you put the binding on, just like that, and they're all screwed in. And then if you want to check it, you can just kind of, this is the back, it's supposed to do that. You can kind of just lift it up by the binding a little bit, see if it's tight, kind of wiggle it, make sure it's tight. And if it's not, then just go back and screw it. So that's how you put it